leopard cat. Tonight, though, it's fresh fish that the leopard cat wants. So it has come down to the riverbank to hunt. If not fish, then rodents, birds, reptiles or insects will do. Unlike other cats, the leopard cat doesn't mind water and can even swim if it wants to. But it can't compete with the otter's superb fishing skills. The leopard cat concedes this patch of riverbank to the streamlined expert. Humans have always hunted otters for their thick, shiny fur. But in the DMZ, otters live undisturbed. This one lands a prize catch the size of a man's arm. But the leopard cat won't get a scrap. The Korean Peninsula in the far east of Asia is sandwiched between the vast landmass of China to the west and the island of Japan to the east. From the chaos of World War II, the peninsula was ruptured in two, and as represented in this map, 1953 saw the creation of a 4-kilometer-wide exclusion zone that separated North Korea and South Korea. The South then added an extra buffer zone, which in places stretches out for 20 kilometers. The Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, as politically icy as the Siberian winds that whistle across its jagged peaks. Political boundaries mean nothing to nature. To this rare male Chinese water deer, this war zone is home. While humans defend their borders with guns, mines, and fences, he protects his own boundaries with a surprising weapon of his own. The water deer prefers solitude to company. It makes it easier to remain inconspicuous. He patrols his territory, challenging all rivals. Cranes, too, mate for life. The red-crowned crane's dance was once thought to be just for courtship, but it now seems that dancing also helps to diffuse social tension. While the cranes check the edges of the fields for food, a wild boar sow leads her platoon in single file along well-worn forest paths. As well as her own young from last year's litter, the group, or sounder, comprises several females and their young, and it's the matriarch's job to protect them from danger. Nature's parachute regiment, for example. The patrolling guards never see the flying squirrel's stealthy maneuver. By stretching out the loose skin at its sides, the flying squirrel cruises from the top of one tree to the base of another. The region has, without doubt, provided a final stronghold for a creature on the brink of extinction, the amur, or Korean long-tailed goral. The gorals are protected by two of the most unlikely wildlife guardians. But even in this sanctuary, only 50 gorals cling to survival, and this species has been wiped out everywhere else. Its rarity has earned it the status of national treasure in Korea. female and her kid are good climbers, and their long, stout limbs means they can browse safely on slopes that would be too steep for predators. Another buck has dared to wander across the boundary, but the territory owner will not tolerate the intrusion. Fights can be vicious, so the trespasser decides not to risk a confrontation, and the resident buck can resume his rounds. Crows congregate in the flooded fields to bathe, and in the nearby riverbed shallows, some of Korea's many amphibians, Korean frogs, prepare for winter. The frogs attract a hungry red-crowned crane. This time the frogs are spared. The crane's long probing beak picks among the remnants of a corn plant. Though the water deer buck usually hides in dense vegetation, they're never found far from water, and his territory includes part of the wetland. He will even swim several kilometers to reach distant islands to feed. Outsiders have invaded Korea throughout its history. As winter approaches, the flying squad touches down. Flocks of Eurasian coots and falcated teal share the waters. The water deer buck does sometimes have to share his pasture. Of the 2,000 red-crowned cranes left in the world, about 300 spend each winter in the DMZ. But other visitors aren't so welcome. Another water deer is tempted into the open by the sight of a few remaining tufts of grass. Ever ready to fight, the buck challenges the intruder. But it's a female. She poses no threat, so he lets her graze in peace. White-naped cranes also migrate to the DMZ for the winter. Like their red-crowned cousins, with around 5,000 cranes left, they are amongst the most highly endangered birds in the world. Both species feature heavily in Oriental poetry, myth, and art. Considered sacred, cranes symbolize peace and tranquility, the very things Korea so desperately wants. Cold air from Siberia ushers in heavy snowfall, and a young white-tailed sea eagle seeks shelter among the lower woods. The river hasn't yet frozen over. Below the surface, a young male Korean toad desperately tries to find a partner before hibernation. A rival male reaches one of the few remaining single females first. Using a nuptial pad that develops an extra digit on his hand, he hugs her tight. The determined suitor tries to separate the couple, but the older male's grip is too strong. The pair will not be parted.